Arguably the most misunderstood Apple app is the Shortcuts app. And I totally get it. It is an intimidating app. When you open it, it looks complicated and confusing. And so most of us open it once, look at it, close it, and never go back to it. Well, it's actually one of the most powerful apps on our Apple devices. And so today we're going to keep it easy. I'm going to explain what a shortcut even is, how to use the app, and even share some easy and practical examples that you can start using today. And just so you know, in today's video, I will be using an iPhone 16 Pro Max running the iOS 26.6 software. And I bring that up because the Shortcuts app will be getting quite a significant Apple Intelligence update in the upcoming iOS 27 software. So we're not going to talk about that today. That will be a future video once iOS 27 is released to the public. So this is what the Shortcuts app looks like. If you don't see it on your home screen, you can of course always pull down and just search for the app to open it that way. Or there's also a good chance you may have deleted the app completely if you've never used it to save some space on your device. In that case, just head over to the App Store and re-download it. Now, as the name suggests, a shortcut is meant to save you time. So instead of you having to manually do a whole bunch of different actions to get an end result, like make a phone call, you create a shortcut by stacking all of these different actions to get that same end result, making a phone call, with simply the press of one button. So for example, to make a FaceTime call, I would have to find the FaceTime app, click to open the app, find the contact I want to call, and then click to start the FaceTime call. That's a series of actions for the end result being a FaceTime call. However, with a shortcut, I can just click one button to start that FaceTime call. So if you constantly find yourself doing the same thing on your device, whether that's contacting the same person, whether that be FaceTime, phone call, message, email, or even always adjusting your brightness at a certain time of day, there's a chance to take away all of that manual work. You can create a shortcut to do it for you. Now, if we open up the Shortcuts app, this is more or less what yours should look like. So at the bottom, there's three different tabs: Library, Automation, and Gallery. If we start on Library, you should see at the top all shortcuts, if you do have any. The folder section, I've created these folders manually, so if you don't have any, you may not see that. And then at the bottom, it'll list a bunch of apps where shortcuts are available. And since we're here, I'll just quickly point out that here in the top right is the Create Folder button. So if we go over to the All Shortcuts section, this is where we would actually create our own shortcuts. So you'll see here, I have a few created shortcuts that are not organized in a folder, and then I have my daily folder and my auto folder, and then again that list of apps with available shortcuts. Now, using that same FaceTime shortcut example, I have the tile here, FaceTime Brooke. If I click on the tile itself, it'll run that shortcut, so it would start a FaceTime. Instead, I'm going to press the three dots in the top right of the tile to open up essentially the list of actions within this shortcut. So this one is super simple because all I'm having this shortcut do is open the FaceTime app and then call a contact. So if I wanted to create this from scratch, I'll go back to the main menu. There's a plus button in the top right to create a new shortcut. At the very top here is where we can name our shortcut. And the naming of the shortcut is honestly pretty important. It has to be descriptive enough that you know what it is, but it also has to be natural enough that you can speak it if you wanted to ask Siri, for example, to run this shortcut. So try and keep it simple, don't make it too complicated. In this instance, I'm going to press the arrow to the right of the shortcut name so that I can rename it. And let's call this, we'll just do FaceTime Mom as an example here and save that. And then we have to search for the actions to start creating this shortcut. So in this instance, I'm going to search for FaceTime. I'm going to click FaceTime. It will show you any of like your favorite or most used contacts just for easier selection. In this case, I'm going to hit the FaceTime button itself, and you'll see FaceTime call contact because I haven't actually selected a contact yet. To do that, I would just select this, and then you can search for the contact you want to call. You can also select multiple contacts. So if you have a family group chat, you want to FaceTime everyone at the same time, you would just search and select the different contacts. And then what you can do if you want to test any of your shortcuts, you can hit the play button and it'll actually perform that action to make sure you've set up the shortcut in a way that works. You can then also use the I button at the bottom in the middle to add to home screen. So I'll click this. You can then choose to change the image. So if you did want to add the person's face or any photo like that, you can change the symbol if you rather a symbol, the color of the app, and there's a whole bunch of different symbols here. So we'll just press add, and then you'll now see FaceTime Mom, that shortcut we just created. And just to quickly show you again, the one I first did, FaceTime Brooke with an image looks like this. Then if we go back here to our main list, from here you can also long press on any of your shortcuts to quickly rename, edit it, share it even. But towards the bottom, move, so you can click move to move it into any of your shortcut folders. Another great one is quickly adding an item to a specific reminders list. So in this case, the click of a button, I want to add a grocery item to my grocery list. So to create this one from scratch, hit that plus button again. I'm going to search for reminders. There's a whole bunch of different options, but in this case, I want to create a new reminder. So I'm going to select that. Now it's going to ask me what reminder I want to add. So add reminder, I'm going to click into this box. If I know I always want to add milk when I click this button, I could just type in milk and then every time the shortcut would add milk. But I don't know, maybe sometimes I want to add bread or spinach, who knows? So this time I'm going to choose ask each time. So I'm going to select ask each time. Then I'm going to select which list to add this text to or to add this reminder to. So it defaults to the reminders list, but if I click on it, I should see any of my reminders listed here. So in this case, I want to add this one to my groceries list. And we're just going to keep it like that. So I'm going to test it by hitting the play button. And so because I asked it to ask me each time what I want to add, it opens this little text box. I can type in that I need bread, hit done. Now when I go over to my reminders and I go into my groceries list, we see bread is added. So those are examples of how to create your own shortcuts from scratch. But to make things a little bit easier, you can actually select a gallery here at the bottom to browse pre-existing shortcuts or pre-created shortcuts. So if creating your own shortcut is still a little bit intimidating, I highly recommend you start here in the gallery to just browse some that already are created that you can edit to your own needs. One that I find fun is how many days until. So anytime you want to learn more about one of these shortcuts, you can just click on the tile to open it up and it'll give you a bit more context or information here. And then when you like it, you can just press set up shortcut. And this one, it's a countdown. So it's going to ask you the date you're counting down to. So let's say we just do December 25, 2026, hit next. Let's say Christmas. And now we're going to hit add shortcut. So we'll have to go over to see it in our library. And so we added it here, how many days until. So I've renamed it and now I want to add it to the home screen. So I'll just do this, Xmas countdown. Now every time I click on that, it'll show me how many days until Christmas. And so that's a great one you can use obviously for a holiday, but any big milestone, even counting down to your next vacation. And back in the gallery, another one I really like, I'm just going to search for it to make it a bit faster. So this one, home ETA, if I open this up, what it'll do is it'll send a message to a pre-selected contact, how long until you're home, essentially. So I'll set up this shortcut. You do have to put in your home address. So I'll just put 1 Apple Park as an example, hit next. Then you have to select the recipient. And again, you can add multiple recipients here and then add shortcut. So if we go back to library, we'll see it in our shortcuts. I have 2 just because I already had it set up. So if I click on this, and so now to double check it worked, if I go over to my messages to Brooke, it shows, I sent it twice, but it shows my ETA. And you can customize the text that it sends with your ETA. If you just were to edit the shortcut, so hitting those 3 buttons, you'll see the text field here. So I'll be home, you could just change that text. So now we've gone over how to create your own shortcut from scratch, as well as how to edit one of the pre-created shortcuts from the gallery. Now, to run your shortcut or to have it start working. I've already shown a few different ways of doing that. So you can come into the Shortcuts app, click on the tile to play your shortcut, or if you add it to your home screen, like we've done a few examples here, you can just click on the app to run the shortcut. I've also mentioned you could just ask Siri to run one of your shortcuts by using the name of that shortcut. You can also search for it. So if I search, for example, home ETA, the shortcut will come up as a top hit. So that's why the naming of your shortcuts is very important. Keep it easy and something you're going to remember. And I could just tap that to run that same shortcut. Another way, if you don't want the shortcuts as individual apps, you can add a shortcut widget. So if I long press, hit edit, add widget, and just search for shortcuts. There's a few different sizes here, and these are interactive widgets, so you would just click on it to run the same shortcut. And if you have an iPhone with an action button, you can also map this action button to a specific shortcut. And to set that one up, you would just go into your device settings, search for action button, swipe over to shortcut, choose a shortcut. You'll see your own shortcuts as well as just some standard easy ones that are pre-created. And so you can just select which one you want. And then when I hold down on the action button, that shortcut will run. Now there is one more way to start a shortcut, but it doesn't apply to every single shortcut because it uses an automation. So it has to be some sort of trigger that happens and will run the shortcut. So if we go back into the Shortcuts app, our third tab here in the bottom that we haven't used is automation. And so when you click on automation, this is where you would set it up. So you can see here, I already have a few automations set up. So the triggers here, one is a focus mode, the wind down focus mode. And then the trigger in the morning is me stopping my wake up alarm. I also have a location-based automation trigger here. So when I arrive at IGA, which is my grocery store, my phone will open my grocery list. The last one is around low power mode. So you may know this, when your phone goes down to 20% battery left, oftentimes low power mode will be switched on automatically. The thing is, you can't adjust that 20%. If you rather low power mode, turn on when your phone's at 40%, 30%, whatever it is, you have to set it up as a shortcut automation. So to create an automation, we're going to hit the plus button here at the top. And this is a list of all of the different trigger options. So something can happen at a specific time of day, alarm, like in one of my examples, sleep or a focus mode, location-based, but it can also be when you get a message from someone or when you turn your phone into airplane mode. There are a whole bunch of different triggers here. Let's go with battery level for this one. So we're going to choose battery level. We're going to use the slider to bring it down. So unfortunately, the slider doesn't show you the number. You just have to drag it until you reach what you're looking for. So in this case, let's do 30%. I want this to happen immediately without asking me to double check. So I'm going to switch to run immediately. I do not need to be notified. I'm just going to hit next. Then if you already have a shortcut to do this, you can just choose your shortcut. Or in this instance, we have to create a new shortcut. So I'm going to say create new shortcut. So when the battery level is 30%, I want my phone to go into low power mode. So I'm just going to search for set low power mode. I'm going to select this and now turn low power mode on. That's exactly what I want it to do. If for whatever reason I want it to do the opposite, I could just tap on to turn low power mode off. But in this case, I do want low power mode to turn on when my battery level is at 30%. So I'm going to hit the check mark there. And then automatically, once my phone battery goes down to 30%, low power mode will turn on instead of waiting for it to go down to the 20%. So this was your introduction to the Shortcuts app and shortcut automations. Hopefully it was easy enough to understand. If you have any questions though, please do let me know in the comments. And if you aren't already, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. I really would love to see how close we can get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So that's it, and have a great day. Bye.